This video is about solving literal equations. So in solving a literal equation, you need to isolate the requested variable. Just like when we're solving with numbers, you need to use inverse operations to solve for a variable. So in number one, this is just a review of solving for x. So remember here, if we were solving for x, our first step would be to subtract 4 from both sides. So 2x equals 6. We can divide by 2, so x equals 3. In number two, we want to solve for q. So we want to get q by itself. So if we're getting q by itself, right now the equation is pq, which means p times q is equal to r. So to get q by itself, the inverse of multiplication is division. So we would divide both sides by p. So q equals r over p. So now they're going to be equations and we're going to get answers that equal, and they have like an expression instead of just a final number answer. In number three, a plus b equals c, solve for a. So if we have a plus b, in order to get a by itself, we need to subtract b from both sides. So a equals c minus b. In number four, we want to solve for j. So to get j by itself, we have j minus k equals m. So we want to add k to both sides. So j equals m plus k. Number five, c divided by d equals f. So if we have c divided by d and we want to get c by itself, the inverse of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by d on both sides. So c equals f d. In number 6, we want to solve for g. So we have g plus h times j equals k. Well, because it's being added to g and we want to get g by itself, we are going to subtract hj from both sides. So g equals k minus hj. In number 7, we have bc minus d equals g, and we want to solve for c. So this is going to be a two-step problem because first we need to add d to both sides. So bc equals g plus d. And then we want to divide by b to get c isolated by itself. So we have c equals g plus d divided by b. In number 8, we want to solve for w, and we have w divided by x plus y equals z. So the first step here is to subtract y from both sides. W over x equals z minus y. Then we can subtract, or we can multiply by x on both sides. So w equals, and we're going to multiply x by both parts. So we have xz minus xy. In number 9, we have y equals mx plus b, and we want to solve for m. So first we would subtract b from both sides. Y minus b equals mx. Because we want m by itself, and it's m times x, we're going to divide both sides by x. So y minus b over x is equal to m. In number 10, we have ax minus 5 equals negative 8. We want to solve for x. So our first step here is going to add 5 to both sides. So ax equals negative 3. Then to get x by itself, we would divide by a on both sides. So x equals negative 3 over a. In number 11, we have 2x plus 2 equals 4m, and we want to solve for x. So first step here is to subtract 2 from both sides. Now, 2m and negative 2 are different, so we have 2x equals 4m minus 2, and then we can divide by 2. Now, because these are numbers, we're able to reduce it. So we get x equals And really what happens here is we divide by 2, but I can split it to divide each item individually. So 4x divided by 2 is 2x, and negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Sorry, is 4m, and then 2m. In number 12, we are going to solve for k. So in order to solve for k, the first thing that we're going to do is we need to move the other letters to the other side. So it's plus m and plus j, so we can subtract m and j at the same time. So we get 2k equals 12 minus m minus j. We can divide each part by 2. So k equals 6 minus m over 2 minus j over 2. In number 13, we have P equals 2L plus 2W, and we want to solve for W. So first, we can subtract 2L from both sides. P minus 2L equals 2W. Then we can divide everything by 2. So P over 2 minus L is equal to W. In number 14, we want to solve for A. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to subtract 6B from both sides. So we have 5A equals 18C minus 6B. Then we can divide everything by 5, but that doesn't reduce. So A equals 18 over 5C minus 6 over 5B. Now, the reason that we're practicing solving linear equations is because in a few units, we're going to need to be able to solve for y, so that when we graph, we can get our equations into slope-intercept form. So what we need to do is be able to isolate our y so that we are in slope-intercept form. So we're always going to be isolating the y here. So in number 15, there is a 5x on the same side as the y. So to move 5x, because it's positive, we are going to subtract 5x from both sides. So y equals 12 minus 5x. In number 16, we have 6 times y, so we want to divide everything by 6. So y equals 3 divided by 6 is going to be a decimal, so we're going to hit math, enter, enter. So we have 1/2, and we're going to put x next to it, minus 3. Now, the rest of these are going to be two-step problems to get y by itself. So in number 17, we have 4x minus 2y equals negative 10. So our first step here is to subtract 4x from both sides. So we get 2y equals negative 10 minus 4x. Then we're going to divide everything by 2. So y equals negative 5 minus 2x. In number 18, we are going to add 5x to both sides. So we get negative 4y is equal to 20 plus 5x. Then we can divide by negative 4. So y equals 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. 5 divided by negative 4 just becomes negative 5/4. And then we have our x next to it. In number 19, the first thing that we are going to do is subtract 3x from both sides. So we get negative 4y equals 18 minus 3x. Then we can divide everything by negative 4. So we get y equals 18 divided by negative 4. Math, enter, enter, is negative 9 over 2. And then we're going to have plus 3/4 x, because two negatives make a positive. In number 20, when we solve for y, our first step is to subtract 2x from both sides. 4y equals negative 12 minus 2x. We can divide everything by 4. So y equals negative And then our calculator, -2 divided by 4. Math, enter, enter, will get us -1/2 x. 21 is a little bit different because there's a parentheses to get y by itself. So the first step that we want to do doesn't have to do with getting the y by itself yet. It's simplifying the other side. So first we're going to distribute that half. So y minus 6 equals 1/2 x minus 4. Then we can add 6 to both sides. And because 4 and 6 are numbers, they can combine together. So we get y equals 1/2 x plus 2.